Welcome to Be Less Stupid, the show for liberal politics, investigations, muckraking, science, fact, and funny. I'm your host, Jon Hotchkiss. Let's get right to it. This is Ferris. Ferris believes that the Bible is the literal word of God, and that it should be mandatory teaching to public school kids. Ferris says that homosexuality is the same as bestiality.
Being taught the other ideas, the gay agenda every day out in the world. So we have to stand up and explain to them that that's not real, and that's not proper, it's not right.
And he believes that abortion is murder, and that women should never have one, even if the pregnancy is the result of rape or incest. Now look, there are plenty of fringe, right-wing lunatics in America masquerading as American patriots with revolting ideas that violate the Constitution. But let's leave Trump out of this for now. This guy is special. Let me explain. In 2002, Ferris Wilks and his brother Levi started a hydraulic fracking company in the Midwest. 9 years later, they sold the business to the government of Singapore for $3.5 billion. In the last 6 years, Ferris Wilks has used his money to fund a wide array of hardcore Christian political organizations, so much so that he's often referred to as, quote, the sugar daddy of the alt-right. By the way, you too can meet a sugar daddy just like Ferris on the website Seeking Awful Arrangements that will have you both literally and figuratively needing a shower.
Our families are under attack. And our place as men and leaders in the home is under attack.
Now, the reason that I'm telling you about Ferris Wilks is because although he is a relatively obscure right-wing billionaire, his motive is to turn America into a Christian theocracy. And that wouldn't be so exceptional, except he also has the means to infect American culture with his vile alt-right ideas, or as scientists in the Netherlands refer to it, Jesus herpes. Motive and means, that's the two things, but what really makes him a threat is that Ferris also has the opportunity. In just a bit, I'm going to reveal to you precisely how he's able to spread his Jesus herpes to millions of Americans. But first, you need to know a little bit more about Ferris Wilks.
The family is in distress and in trouble these days.
In 2011, Ferris and his wife each donated $50 million to a charity that they created. One of the first donations was to a group called Online for Life. They gave them $2 million. Well, here's how the money was used. When women in the United States searched the web for information about pregnancy, abortion, or family planning, Online for Life's ads would show up in the first and second position on Google search. And when these ads were clicked, instead of taking the women to a clinic that provided the full range of women's health services, they were secretly directed to Christian-based clinics that were not necessarily staffed by doctors and did not offer abortion information, procedures, or counseling. In other words, Wilks funded a group of radical Christians so that they could covertly intercept vulnerable pregnant women on the web and trick them into having babies that they didn't plan for, didn't want, or couldn't care for. Ferris also donated another $2.5 million to a different Right to Life group that trains activists to go undercover at real abortion clinics to both report on them and undermine their work in real time. But wait, there's more horrible stuff that Wilks has done with his money. In 2016, Ferris Wilks donated $15 million to a Ted Cruz super PAC. At the time, it was the most money a single person ever donated to the most hated person, not just in the Senate, but throughout history. And that includes Genghis Khan, Hitler, and Tom Arnold. Ferris is also the pastor at the Assembly of Yahweh Seventh-day Church in Cisco, Texas.
And children need stability and peace in the home. And one way to have a peaceful and secure home is that love must be real between a man and his wife before it can be real between a father and his children.
According to the church's rules, during services, women must dress modestly. No cleavage, no bare skin, no tank tops, and no skirts above the knees. Also during worship, women are to remain silent, just like when they are reluctantly consenting to sex with their husbands. From the pulpit, Wilks preaches that the Bible is historically accurate and is the literal Word of God. During one sermon in particular, Wilkes told his congregation that homosexuality is, quote, a perversion tantamount to bestiality, pedophilia, and incest, adding that it's a predatory lifestyle and that they need your children and straight people having kids to fulfill their sexual habits.
And Deuteronomy 6 and 7 gives us a very good understanding of how that should be.
During his sermon after Barack Obama was elected president, Wilkes said that on that night America died, along with all that is honorable, good, and ambitious. And that gets us back to how Ferris Wilkes is spreading his message of hate, intolerance, and cruel Jesus herpes. You see, Ferris Wilkes is also a media baron, like William Randolph Hearst. Only when Mel Gibson makes a movie about his life, his rosebud won't be a sled, it will be a burning cross. One of the first things that Ferris Wilkes did with his billions was donate about 6.5 million of them to Dennis Prager.
Can you change a person's mind in 5 minutes? My mind was changed in my life in under 5 minutes.
In order to fully realize the online operation of PragerU, the conservative YouTube channel and media company that he started after literally no one subscribed to his series of goth makeup tutorial videos. After PragerU, Wilkes was not done underwriting alt-right media companies that spread antiquated Christian theology under the guise of erudite, modern-day conservative, morally correct politics. In 2015, Ferris Wilkes put up untold millions to fund the operations of Ben Shapiro's Daily Wire. Yup, this billionaire, right-wing Christian pastor owns this modern Orthodox Jew. If this were ancient Egypt, you might say that Wilkes is the pharaoh, and Ben is the slave building his pyramids. Ben Shapiro thinks of himself as a different kind of Republican. He has terrible ideas too, just like Trump, but he hasn't had sex with a porn star, as far as we know. Plus, he says his ideas with a smug kind of certainty.
If Democrats win the House and the Senate in 2018, conservatives should be prepared for an all-out assault on their values.
Ben sleeps at night by telling himself that it's okay to support Trump's agenda because he criticizes his morality.
I'm not sure that it was politically smart by the president. I'm also not a big fan of him ripping into Ford personally.
Which is like saying that you're a Charles Manson fan, not of the killing, the music. The truth is, the Daily Wire would not exist were it not for the largesse and narcissism of Ferris Wilkes. In fact, lots of conservative media outlets are money-losing endeavors that are kept afloat by billionaires looking to spread alt-right Christian theology and peddle influence. In an interview with the Young Turks, Ben Shapiro said, "The funders at the Daily Wire have never exerted an iota of editorial control. My opinions are my own, and they will stay that way." Only here's the thing. Ben Shapiro's opinions and Ferris Wilkes' opinions are nearly identical. Ferris believes that being gay is an abomination. Ben thinks that being gay is a sin, and he's against gay marriage. The Daily Wire columnist Andrew Klavan says, quote, "These gay activists are out there prowling like lions to corrupt Christian children with their terrible, terrible culture." How different is that from Ferris Wilkes, who said that gays are being predatory towards the children of straight couples? Ferris Wilkes says that homosexuality is akin to pedophilia. How different is that from the Daily Wire contributor Michael Knowles, who said, "The logical conclusion of the sexual revolution is that we're going to normalize pedophilia." Ferris Wilkes insists that women who attend his church should dress modestly, not show cleavage or any bare skin. Also, he preaches no having sex in the standing position, because it could lead to dancing. How different is that from Ben Shapiro, who said that women should avoid making themselves into stereotypical, sexualized cutouts for the pleasure of men? Ferris Wilkes thinks that America died the night that it elected Barack Obama. Is that any different than Ben Shapiro, who believes that Barack Obama presided over a criminal presidency and that Obama was fundamentally opposed to the Constitution and a nihilist determined to tear down the system solely for the sake of tearing it down? Here's the thing. Ben Shapiro likes to think of himself as a conduit to the morally upstanding and patriotic conservatism of William F. Buckley. And he believes that liberals are distorting reality, that liberals act like the shepherds of culture and are dismissive of the right for their perceived racism, intolerance, and sexism.
We've seen the Democrats capitalize on racial issues to polarize the country. If Democrats somehow win back the Senate, they will hold open every single judicial seat, hoping a Democrat takes the White House in 2020. Then they'll go right back to rigging the judicial branch, using it as a club with which to destroy constitutional rights and traditional values.
Ben Shapiro tells his followers that the left does not have a monopoly on intelligence, that the left is wrong about conservatives who honor patriotism, freedom, service, and family.
If you enjoyed the disgusting spectacle of Democrats trying to destroy due process of law, get ready for a lot more.
Ben Shapiro would have you believe that by being dismissive of the likes of Milo Yiannopoulos and Donald Trump, that he is protecting conservatism from the morally repugnant who seek to undermine it. And yet, the truth, as I have shown with his own casual dismissal of gays, his adherence to the Bible, his hatred of the black president, and his ideas about women, the only thing that makes Ben Shapiro different from Ferris Wilks, the guy who makes Ben Shapiro possible, is, well, actually, there isn't a lot of difference. They're the same. Ben is just a younger Ferris in a thinner suit and a yarmulke. If you enjoyed this episode of Be Less Stupid, or if you learned something, or if you were entertained, I hope that you will please subscribe to this channel. And if you would like to show your allegiance with other liberals, just like yourself, who care about truth, facts, and equality for all, please go to our website and get yourself one of these Be Less Stupid t-shirts. For Be Less Stupid, I'm the host, Jon Hotchkiss.